Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Let's do a mic check real quick. I was looking on the last time I did a live on this channel was January of 2023. So forgive me in advance if there's technical difficulties and and I don't know what the hell I'm doing because that's really likely. Um, I just wanted to come on here. I know I posted that post yesterday that I wasn't, that just life was happening and people were concerned. I'll get into it, but everything's fine. It's just life. That's all. And yesterday came about, and or Friday came about, and I was like, I just wasn't in it, so I didn't record a video. So I decided to go live just to try it out. I don't expect very many people here. I think I only got like 3 or 4. My guess is maybe 10 people will show up, if that. Whoops, let me do that. So, the 5 people that are here now, where are you from? If you haven't been into one of my live streams, I don't talk a lot of stocks. I'm not I'm not an expert by far. Um, I do what I do, and it works for me. I severely underperformed the market last year. So essentially, buy spy and go away is pretty much, was the play. And I didn't do that, obviously. But as far as the stock market's concerned, I did, as far as my investments are concerned, I did return a healthy 15.8% or whatever that was. And it's funny when you say, that the 15% return is disappointing, but it's really, I mean, that's an awesome return. I'll do that, twice on Sunday and every day of the week. If I can do that year in and year out, that would be extremely great, especially considering for most of 2023, um, I was 50% or more in cash. So to eke out a 15% total return on the total balance with being 50% in cash or more was quite awesome in my opinion. So um, I see some people coming in here. Did I ask that? I wanted to know where everybody's from. So I got a New York in the house. Nick L says, good afternoon. Norman says, heavy drag when you go missing. Some of your fans might be suffering withdrawals. Yeah, some of the loyals for sure. My channel is dead. It's going nowhere fast. And I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. Problem is I've gotten away from, retire with less. I've gotten away from ETF reviews that built this channel, and it just doesn't interest me anymore. So it's kind of hard to record stuff that doesn't interest me. So I really need to, I got to be okay with not, I'm getting 250 views if I'm lucky on videos, where before, I was guaranteed 1,000 plus in the first day. And it just, it is what it is. It's my doing. If I'm not passionate about it, then what are you gonna do? I'm, I'm just forcing stuff out, and I just it doesn't feel good. I guess it would end up feeling like a job, and I don't like feeling like a job. So where are y'all from? We got Pokey from New York. Isn't it like freezing cold out there right now? Wayne Nichols from Henderson, Nevada. Henderson, is that near Reno or Vegas? I wanna say Reno, but I could be wrong. Norman's from Louisiana, or how do the Louisianans say it? Louisiana? Louisiana? Pokey says he liked the ETF reviews. I mean, I get it. I definitely get it. And they're definitely they're easy to do, to be honest with you. But like I said, I haven't been I don't even look at the market. I have no idea what the market is doing so far year to date. None. Zero. No idea. I look at my options account. I have a watch list of stocks and that I want to sell options on, and that's all I look at. I have no idea what the overall market is doing. So grab your coffee, sit down, let's talk a little bit, I guess. Wayne Nichols says he's near Vegas. Gotcha. Um, how is Vegas? I know there's a lot of people wanting to move to Vegas. And to me personally, it doesn't seem like a great place to live. Um, but big city. Maybe Henderson is a little suburb or whatever that's a little bit more quiet and calm, which would be a lot better. But living in Vegas seems I don't know, kind of horrible to me. Pokey says the cold is definitely causing shrinkage in New York. I could imagine. Hey, does this bother you? I know that looks stupid and bright. I could close that curtain. It doesn't matter to me. I live on a busy street, as you can tell. You'll be seeing cars drive by. But either way, yeah, here in California, Central California, it's not. I don't even think we've had a freezing anything below 32 this year or this winter. And that's rare that actually we have something below 32, but I can drive 30 minutes up the mountain and be freezing cold and be in snow. So, but we're right at the point where we don't get that snow. I like that you could live in Vegas, Henderson without having to experience Vegas. Henderson is actually one of the safest cities in the US. That's good to know. Yeah, because I imagine Vegas just like I imagine, you know, San Francisco, no offense, New York City, um, Miami, Dallas. I picture those places as cool place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. That's how I see it. But, no offense. That's just me. Um, what else? What else did I want to speak of? So, my week, the reason why I didn't put out a video, and that goes back to Norman saying it was a heavy drag on some people. I posted that I wasn't gonna that I posted that life was happening. And that's just exactly what it was. Last week was kind of it wasn't bad, it was just heavy. That's the best way I can put it. It was heavy. Um, it started out, my wife had her birthday. That wasn't a bad thing, obviously. I mean, she'll tell you it was a bad thing because she got a year older. But she caught up to me in age. But after that, I had a talk with my son. That made it a little heavy. He's wanting to be a teacher. He's going to get an education. And we started talking about, what type of teacher he wants to be. And he's really gravitating towards helping kids with autism, learning disabilities, things like that. And it's kind of crazy because we had a conversation about that and about my childhood and how you know if the standards of today were in place back when I was in elementary school, I would definitely be in the category of kids that he would wanna help, right? But because I wasn't, because those standards weren't in place in the '80s, um, I was just basically, classified as basically a troubled kid or, um, behavioral issue, which I believe it was. It's just a behavioral issue. It's kinda mental issues, uh, lashing out, um, cussing teachers out, throwing things and stuff like that, and it was a byproduct or a reaction of, um, my childhood, basically, is what happened when, you know, I was in, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, ninth grade. It was rough, so me and him had that talk, and, he got a little emotional because I had never shared with him a lot of things, that, I shared with him, and, so, you know, he got emotional. So that was a little heavy, me talking about, childhood and, my parents and school and, all that stuff. And then after that on Friday, what really kind of jacked the week up is uh my wife's mother. She's basically she's basically dying. She has Alzheimer's. She's in a facility, and my wife was unable to uh, sign DNR papers, do not resuscitate papers, and we are both conservators of her. So um, my wife asked me to do it, and I did it, and because she absolutely, she it's time, and that's really what it is, and so um, that weighed a little heavy because thinking about death and everything else, but death is just as natural as birth. So when you think of it that way, you know it's it's okay, right? So technically we're dying the moment we're birthed. We're dying. Um so that was my week. It was just after Friday afternoon we got home, and I was just like, I need to take a breath. I need to take a breath. And it's not bad. It was just heavy. That's all I'm saying. That's basically what it is. So it's like, am I gonna sit here and put together a video for YouTube, after that week? Nah, I'll just forget it. So that was my week. How was your week? I'm hoping it was better. Um, Typically these live streams lose me subscribers, and I don't particularly think this one's going to be any different. I'm also thinking I'm not going to have a lot of people here because, one, I'm competing with church on a Sunday morning, and I'm also competing with football, although I don't believe football is on yet, but I'm sure people are getting ready for that. Anyway, um, what else do I got? I don't know what else I got. You tell me. For some reason, my computer's acting slow. But that's it. Ethos Investing showed up. Hey, Dan, how's it going? Glad to see you. So I hope everybody's doing well. He says you've got this, G. Oh yeah, it's that's not a. It's just life. It's just life. That's all it is. And I just thought it was funny. It was really interesting the conversation me and my son had because I grew up absolutely hating the education system and hating teachers. Literally hate. I mean, in 7th grade, I don't know how this teacher uh, didn't request me to kick my ass out of her class because every time I was in her class, I cussed her out every single time, and she'd send me off to detention. So it's like, why do you have me keep coming back? You know it's gonna happen. So that's what I did. So I hated teachers. So and I mean you're talking a 11, 12, 13-year-old kid, that that didn't have uh at the time didn't really have any hope in life, right? Um so it was just and now my son wants to be a teacher. So I think he'd do very well though. He's he's kind of like me in a sense. He's good-hearted. He's a good-hearted kid. I say kid, but he's going to be 19 years old pretty soon. It's kind of weird that I have a 19-year-old cuz at 19, man, I wasn't doing anything that he's got going on. That's for damn sure. Um yeah, and I also was talking to him about me growing up. Like we used to hang out with the old people. I call them old people. But we were, 14, 15 years old. We'd hang out with the neighbors. They This was back in the 80s, when there was no internet. Everybody was outside. And there was nothing to do indoors, right? Unless you had an Atari, and most of us didn't have an Atari. And so everybody was outside. And we're 13, 14, 15 years old and everybody's outside. So we'd go hang out with some of these old dudes and it'd be funny because we'd go in there and here we are, playing dominoes and smoking a joint with a freaking 40s mid 40-year-old man, right? It's like this is kind of weird. Like you're not supposed to be having us do you're not supposed to be having us here. But it was fun. It was fun. And interestingly is the internet killed that, right? Like now I'm that old man that the kids should be gravitating to, but we're not outside no more, right? Nobody's outside. Like I can go through the neighborhood on a weekend, ain't nobody outside. Like, where's everybody? Like in the 80s, everybody was outside, in the park, in the streets, playing, riding their bikes, all that. So it's really strange now to go through a neighborhood and nobody's outside. Like, so it's weird. It's weird. So, got 10 people watching. Um, I don't know what to say anymore. So I might call it because, um, what else do I got to say? What do y'all want to hear? What have I been up to? I've been watching football actually, which is weird. I typically don't, but it's playoffs, so I've been watching it. 49ers almost gave it away last night. Um, who's playing today? I think Tampa and shoot, I don't remember. I don't remember. But my son's a 49er fan, so I'm rooting for the Niners. I think everybody thinks it's going to be a Niners and Ravens um, Super Bowl, but we'll see. Who's taking the Super Bowl? Being from California, I gotta say the Niners, but I don't know. Um, if it's gonna be between the Niners and the Ravens, uh, that's tough because the Ravens just seem so damn strong. And, you know, the performance the Niners did against the Packers last night was not very impressive. So if it's going to be the Niners and the Ravens, the Niners need to be clicking on all freaking cylinders. Otherwise, Baltimore is going to take it. That's just my opinion. My son would hate me for saying that, but it is what it is. Um, I would love to see. I know he's not popular, but I would love to see Baker Mayfield make a further push into this. Um, but we'll see. I know he's not popular, but man, he's kind of fun to watch. Um, there ain't no old quarterbacks left in this thing, I don't think. So, is there? Lamar Jackson is the oldest, probably. Oh wait, or is Jared Goff? Jared Goff might be. That's kind of funny. That's kind of weird. I was rooting for Joe Flacco, is what I was doing. Talk about your 2024 investment objectives. My 2024 investment objectives. I want to earn 12%. That's it, and I want to do it. I'm having problems right now. Not problems, but um, I'm about. I want to say 40 to 45% cash right now. So I'm really torn on taking profits on what I have now and even increasing my cash position, or kind of going all in and just pouring it all into the market. And the reason why thinking of pouring it all into the market is I don't need the cash. Like, I'm not I mean, besides a little emergency fund, which I really don't need either because our W-2 income covers all our bills. So it would be just if one of us lose our job or something. But I don't know. The longer I went with 2023 with being, close to 50% in cash, the more comfortable I got with it. Like it's comfy, right? Especially when that cash is earning 5%. Um, it's like, why put yourself into that position? Like, let me get 5% on my cash and do a few options, bump that 5% up to 12% and call it a day. Um, that'd be fairly simple to do. Unless of course we have a, you know, market crash, which I don't see happening. I don't see happening. I see the market, charging higher like we did in 2023? No, but I don't think it's going to crash, right? I don't think they're going to let it. Kind of like, there I go, about to get controversial. I'll quit. Let me shut up. I'm still leaning Niners. My dog's out of the fight. Yeah, my dog's out of the fight, but my dog, I was born in Oakland, California. So y'all know my team is the Raiders, and I will always be, no matter where they go. Um, I'm liking the direction the Raiders are going, especially on the defensive side of the ball. If you look at when Antonio Pierce took over, uh, the defense tightened up like nobody's business. If we just had a little offense, it would have been a different. I think we would have squeaked into the playoffs if we had a little offense, and we just didn't have it. We couldn't run the ball. couldn't throw the ball. So, I mean, if you can't run, you can't throw, you ain't gonna do too well. Um, Defense wins championships, but you got to score at least some points to get there. And we just failed to do that. But the direction they're going is way better. I have no idea what we're going to do for a quarterback. We have Aiden O'Connell, which is a rookie, and I don't know if he's the answer. He's flashed some nice stuff, and I like his demeanor. Um, but I don't think he's the answer. But what do we do, right? Um, do we make a wholesale trade in of draft picks to bring in a veteran, or do we draft a rookie in the first round? But then we still need someone. I guess Jimmy G is going to be that's kind of scary, but I don't know. I don't know if I want Jimmy G teaching people how to play football. Anyway, 49ers looked bad last night. Ravens probably will take it. Yeah. If 49ers aren't clicking on all cylinders, Ravens will take it. But if the 49ers are clicking, like I think Debo Samuel went out last night, so that's a big, huge loss for the Niners. Hopefully he can come back. But if they start clicking, if the Niners click on all cylinders, I don't think anybody can stop them. Anybody. They have way too many weapons, but they need all cylinders to move. If they got a missing cylinder, then yeah, Ravens will probably take it. Recently finished Wayward Pines series and The Wager. What shall I read next? I don't know. What is Wayward Pines? Let me look that up real quick. Wayward Pines. Wayward Pines mystery book. Okay. A novel. Oh, it's a novel series. U.S. Secret Service agent Ethan Burke as the unravels a mystery surrounding the unanticipated arrival in a small town in Wayward Pines, Idaho. Interesting. I don't read novels, so it's kind of hard. I read autobiographies for the most part. Like what books have I read? I don't read very many books. Okay, it's got to be something that's really interesting to me. Like I think the first book I ever read, like front to back, was way back in like 1992, something like that. I bought a book on oh man, it was a basketball dude. It was an NBA guy turned announcer, had a stuttering problem. Bill, I forget his name, but it's an interesting read. He talked about how he had a stuttering problem. And then I didn't read anything for years after that. And I picked up, I think when the movie Casino came out, I was fascinated by the movie Casino because it was a true story, mostly true. So I bought that book, read that book. What's next? The Zodiac Killer. I'm from the Bay Area of California, and the Zodiac Killer, the Zodiac movie had come out. Horrible movie. Horrible movie. Like it was long, it was drawn out, it was just horrible. But because I grew up in the area and I know these places that, I had to buy the book. So I read that. I think it was a 2-part book, and that was long and drawn out, just like the movie. I don't even think I finished one book, and I don't think I finished the second one. Then we took another long break, and then American Sniper, the movie, came out, and to me that was an excellent movie, and I had to read the book, so I read that book. And then a friend put me on to we were having a discussion and he was talking about Timothy McVeigh, was that his name? McVeigh? The Oklahoma City bomber. Um, he asked me, was he a terrorist or was he a patriot? And I was like, I really don't know. So I had to read the book. And I watched the movie first, and I read the book, and I'm torn. I was actually torn after reading the book. Like, of course he did something absolutely horrible, but you got to read the book. You got to read the book, and that's I forget what that was called. American Terrorist or something like that. It was something like that. Let's see. I think that's the last book I read up until this past year. I read a book by an autobiography book by Tommy DeBarge. If you are familiar with the 80s and pop music, you will know the DeBarge family. Um, Actually, I saw a movie that was a horrible movie of their oldest brother, Bobby DeBarge. It was a horrible movie, horribly done, like disgusting acting, and just I don't even know how that movie came out, but it came out TV only, I think. And the brother Tommy had a autobiography book, so I picked it up and I read it for Christmas. Great book, but it frustrated the hell out of you because he was a drug addict, and I think he relapsed like 20 freaking times. And every time you're reading it, you think, okay, he's gonna be okay now. Nope. Entire life was just of drugs. So that was sad, but it was a good book. Book I'm reading now is the autobiography of Al Green. He was the 70s R&B soul star turned pastor of a church. He's pastor today. And that book is horrible as well because for some reason the author decided to dedicate 100 plus pages of the history of the record company that Al Green was signed to. And it's like, did we really need to know all that? I mean, it's interesting, but I'm reading an autobiography of Al Green, not of all these band members and CEOs and founders of record companies and studios and stuff like that. So anyway, that is the length of how many books I've read front to back. Now I've read partial books, read partial books of a bunch of stuff, but it didn't click in me to keep reading. So you look like you've lost some weight. Funny you say that. I have. If you go back 2023 live stream, my face was pretty full. I was looking at some pictures the other day, me and my wife. I was like, ooh, this dude's huge. Um, I did lose some weight. So from back then, like a year ago, I was like 260 pounds, maybe a little bit more. And I just got on the scale this morning. I was 217. So I have lost some weight, but I've gained some in the past month, the holidays, November. I put on like 4 pounds because I was about 213, and now I've gained about 4 pounds in this past 2 months. Can't shake it, but I will. I think once Valentine's is over. um, but yeah, I have. I'm looking old though. I keep looking in the mirror and I'm like, man, I'm getting old. Like, um, you know, spots are showing up and wrinkles around the eyes and stuff, and things are just kind of droopy a little bit. What you gonna do? Rob says, I'm feeling somewhat bullish on small caps in 2024. I think they'll be decent benefactors of Fed rate cuts. I absolutely 100% agree. Um, That's another thing I've been looking at is, do I see that's the problem with me, is that I know, like, options trading, right? So it's hard for me to, go into a IWM, which is the small cap index, Russell 2000 index, or any other ETF, and you know, invest into it, because I can buy an option. I can buy 100 shares of IWM, right? What's 100 shares of what's it going for? 180, 190, I don't even know. Just say 200. So what is that? 100 shares times 200 is what? 20 grand. I can, you know, invest 20 grand into small caps, or I can buy a call option for, a few hundred, or 500, 600, whatever it is, and still participate in the upside of small caps with, you know a minute investment compared to, uh buying 100 shares of the stock or ETF itself. You know what I mean? So that's partially what makes it hard for me to invest. And it just, it is what it is. So even though I should, it just makes it tough, because I know I can replicate the same thing with options. The problem with options, though, they have expiration dates. So, um, you spend 500,000 bucks on a couple of calls on IWM, and then it goes down, and you're gonna lose what you paid for it. Where and then it expires, and then it goes away. You don't own it no more, and you lost all this money. Whereas if you invested with, say IWM, yeah, it can go down, but you still own it. It's not going to zero. Um, Whereas options technically go to zero, right? At a certain point in time. So, um, you know, the cost of IWM is what makes me wheel TNA in its place. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at. I didn't say it, but I would buy TNA call options instead, in place of an IWM call option, um, because it's way more cheaper and you can participate in it. But, um, you know, I don't like, for instance, TNA, SOXL, TQQQ. Those are the leverage funds I typically trade. I'm not typically trading them right now because I don't like playing them when they're up this high. Um, All-time highs trading 3x leverages, as far as selling puts are concerned, they make me nervous. I'll wait until, there's a little pullback. I mean, for instance, QQQ, all it needs is a pullback of 10%, and the TQQQ is going to tank 30 or more. And that's the point where, um, where I like to start looking at stuff, right? Um, right now, I think SOXL and TNA both had a little pullback at one point. No, TNA didn't. I did sell an option on TNA, a $30 strike. And I think that's a little high, to be honest with you. I'm not really looking at charts anymore. I mean, I do. I just pop up a chart and I look at it. Uh, I'm not as calculated as I used to be. SOXL, I think, got down into the mid 20s, and I sold a $20 strike put. I think 20 is a nice spot, but I think SOXL now shot up to like low 30s or something like that. So where I want to be at 20, there's no premium there, and I'm not going to chase it and go, okay, I'll go 25 or 27 on the strike. And I don't want to do that. So I don't want to chase anything. I think that's what made me successful in 2023 is not chasing anything. I did not chase anything last year. Now, my returns weren't, tremendous. Like I said, I did 15% return in 2023, but uh my returns were somewhat flat. I mean, I didn't really have that big volatility that I had in 2022. If I look back at 2022, I had huge uh volatility. Lost 6,000 one month, made 7,000 the next month, lost 3,000, and it's like I didn't want to do that. So, and that was me. 2022 was chasing premium. That's what I did. Um, Now 2023, I didn't chase any premium. I just kind of took what the market gave me and everything smoothed out. I don't think I had one month that I lost money. So um, that was really fun for me. Not fun, but it felt better, even though I didn't make as much. Uh, when they jump into nervous territory, I take profits and switch to the cash secured put side. Yeah, and I think a lot of stuff to me right now is in. I think you meant to put nervous, but everything to me right now is in nervous territory. Like I'm looking at utilities. I'm looking at consumer defense stocks. Those are the only things I'm really messing with right now for the most part. Some financials. I haven't been in tech in a very long time, unless, except the exception of SOXL. Haven't been in tech at all. Um, haven't messed with retail stocks at all recently. Haven't messed with industrial stocks. Um, yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm just trying to get smoother returns. Kind of contrarian to the trend, but it's easier on the nerves. Yeah, no, I get it. I don't want to I don't want to push myself. I really want to continue what I did in 2023. You know, um, just easy. I'm probably going to end up with a loss though in this first part of January. I think it's because of a covered call roll I did, but other than that, it's really not horrible. February would be decent, and if I can build out $1,000 to $1,500 of premium cooking on my options account every month, that's all I need. Uh, so if I do $1,000 a month, that's 12,000 a year. Um, on top of 5% interest on cash, on top of I think I'm doing about 4 or 5 grand in dividends a year. Hey, I'm happy as a clam on that. How is your job going? My job, I've been very busy lately. It's this week. It's finally calmed down. I've been there since April. Seems like it doesn't seem like I've been there that long, but I've been there since April. And the job is, I don't know, it's easy. It's easy, and there's typically, ever since April, I've always had opportunities to pick up a shift because somebody quit or somebody's sick or whatever. And it's crazy because there's like 4 of us here in our general area that do the same job. Only 4 of us, and I'm the longest tenured one. I've only been there since April, so um, I've always had opportunity to pick up shifts. And Dave from Hidden Freedom said it exactly right. I really didn't expect to be working this much because I've been working like 30, 33 hours a week, which is a lot for me because I wasn't expecting that. Um, when I first got this job, it said you're going to be between 2 and 20 hours a week. And I thought, I'm cool with 2. I'm good with 2. And the first week I think was like 20 hours. And then ever since then it's been does anybody want to make any extra money and pick up this store or that store? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Do you want to pick up these stores until we hire somebody? Yeah, I'll do it. And Dave said it perfectly. He goes, the Gen X people just can't say no. And it's true. If there's extra money to be made, we'll go get it. And it's I thought about it. I was like, damn, he's right. Because my wife's the same way. If she's got her jobs, if they say, hey, can you come in? She's like, yep, I'll be there. And that's just he said that's just the way Gen Xers are, and I guess that's the way I've always been too. So, um, the problem with my job, no benefits. Um, you know, no real chance of advancement, which I really don't want to advance and become management. I always say that, but every job pretty much I've ever had has turned into either a supervisory or even higher management uh, positions. I really don't want to do that. I'm 48 years old, about to be 49 years old. I don't really want to do that. But that being said, like you said, the Gen X people don't say no. I probably wouldn't say no to a supervisory role. Now, the problem with that is there is no supervisors in California with my company. Um, and I don't think they would ever hire a supervisor out of California because my supervisor's out of, I want to say Utah or Arizona. I think that's where she's from, something like that. She's definitely not out of California. Because why would they want to pay somebody, way more out of California when they can find somebody in Arizona, Utah, Nevada, which is our territory, to pay them less money, right? And not deal with the California stuff. So I seriously doubt I would be a supervisor of any sort out of California for a company like that. So, what else? Now, I have thought about could I, because this company's, I don't make very much money. This is a glorified entry level job, kind of brainless work. Excuse me. If you know retail, if you know grocery, it's crazy, stupid, easy job. But if you don't know how retail works or grocery stuff, it could be a little overwhelming. Um, that being said, there's a lot of people that just don't understand it, and they kind of hire anybody that can fill out an application because that's just the way of the world right now. Um, so they're constantly hiring. So I always thought about, well, what if me and my wife kind of just went on the road? I could probably find a job anywhere USA with this company because they're nationwide. I can travel the country, work a month there, and move somewhere else and work a month there. I thought about that. Who knows? But you know, my wife's probably not going to leave California. That's kind of what it is. Um, we can go travel and stuff, but I don't think she would move anywhere else. Essentially because her kids are here. It's going to be hard. Although I did tell my son, if you ever have the idea, if you ever have the inkling to leave California, do it. Do it. 100% do it. Because at his age, you're talking the early 90s, there really wasn't internet, right? You didn't really know. I moved from the Bay Area to the Central Valley, which is about a 3-hour drive. And at that point, I thought I was making a tremendous, huge move. And, now that I'm older and I look back and I'm like, man, I could have went anywhere. I had no ties. I wasn't in school. I didn't have no bills. I could have done anything. But I chose to stay in California. In the early 90s, I could have went anywhere, USA. And yeah, you know, it is what it is. Different times now. So, there's a lot more these kids nowadays, they don't understand uh how much information that they have available to them, right? Um, when we were in the 80s and 90s, we had nothing. Like it was just whatever people said and whatever you can read in books or magazines and whatever you saw on TV, and that was it. That was it. So, if you wanted to know something, you went and got a freaking encyclopedia. You went and researched it. Um, you know, that was the encyclopedia was the internet of the 80s. Do they still do encyclopedias? I remember going into people's homes and they had a set of encyclopedias, and I was like, "Holy crap, man! These people must be rich." That's what we used to think. If you had if you had a set of encyclopedias, you were rich. That's funny. That is funny. Freaking encyclopedias. I don't even know if those are around anymore. Um, Staycon live stream. Yeah, we're about to wrap this up, man. I didn't advertise this live stream anywhere. I didn't put it on my social medias or none of that. I just wanted it organic. And I said there might be 10 people. We're sitting at 16 right now, so that's not bad. That's not bad. I appreciate you guys. Um, I don't know. I think we're gonna wrap it up. Oh, right there, here, there. That's the old LG TV that crapped out on me. That sucker only lasted. I looked it up. It lasted about 7 or 8 years. I thought I was pissed off because I have a Vizio TV sitting in my bedroom, 42-inch plasma Vizio TV, and that was big back in the day. And bought this thing in like 2006, and still going, still going. So I replaced that LG with a Vizio. Yeah, the LG was supposed to be great TV back in 2016 or something like that. Just won't turn on. Problem now is though, how do you get rid of a TV? You got to pay to get rid of the damn TV. I bet you though, I can set it on the sidewalk and someone would pick it up because it looks like it works. But yeah, electronics piss me off. They really do. One thing I did invest in though was a stereo system. I got two pretty decent sized bookshelf speakers. I got a little Chinese amp, Chinese DAC, a little cheap subwoofer on the side. This thing rocks. I spent about, I want to say about, let's see, 100, 200, 250, yeah, about $300. And this stereo sounds I had a stereo back in the mid-90s that I put together, Onkyo receiver, I actually still have the Yamaha tower speakers, another subwoofer. It cost me like over $1,000. I spent $300 on this little chintzy thing. This thing blows that $1,000 system out of the water. It's amazing what you can get with electronics now. Um, as far as quality sound. I don't know how longevity wise, but um, yeah, this thing is amazing. This would have been my best investment of 2023 was buying this stereo little setup for my desk. I'd like to duplicate it out in the living room, um, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, music has been my thing lately. A lot of you, if you watch my videos, you know that I've talked about it. But music has been my thing lately. Got really back into it. Got my Spotify thing, and I got earbuds for when I'm working. Just put the earbuds in, don't talk to nobody, go do my thing, and just jam out. I probably look like an idiot to people because I'm walking through the store and I'm like mouthing the words and stuff. They're pure like, the hell's this guy doing? But music, there's one thing I'm going to tell you: get into it. It's good for your soul. And go ahead and sing. Sing if you can sing. Everybody can sing. You may not sound good, but everybody can sing. And I'm telling you, it's good for your health. It's good for your health. Um, so do that. Listen to your favorite music. Uh, if all you're doing is if you got like one, because that's what I was about to get was one of them little Bluetooth JBL speakers or whatever they are. I'm so glad I didn't get one of those, and I spent the uh, few $100 on a cheap, proper um, stereo system that's hooked up to my computer. This thing is awesome. Like, it's awesome. So make that little investment, enjoy it. $300 I think was probably the best investment I made in 2023 as far as that is concerned, because it brings so much to me. It brings so much enjoyment, um and just bring yourself down, right? If you're well, I guess it depends on what kind of music you like. If you some music can get you going. So this my music just kind of relaxes me, and it's very enjoyable. So we're bumping up against 1 hour. um I'm gonna cut it loose at 1 hour, so if anybody's got any final comments, leave them. If not, um I enjoyed this. It was fun. um hope everything Hope your 2024 is great. Will I do another live stream? I don't know. Will I do another video? Most likely I'll keep doing videos. But it's not going to be it's going to be the same format that I've been doing lately, and obviously that hasn't worked very well, and I don't mind. I don't mind. Maybe one day I'll find something that I'm passionate about that I can speak on YouTube, and I'll start another channel. Or yeah, I guess I'd have to start another channel if it's not investing related, because I got 7,500 subscribers on this one, and I get only like 200 views. I get what, 16 people watching a live stream. So this one's over. So I guess I would need to start a new channel if I find something else that I want to do. So um yeah, we'll see. I'll let you know what I do, if I do anything. Good to see you. Good to see you guys, Norman. I appreciate you. Appreciate all you. Maybe I'll do music reviews or book reviews or something, but I can only do that for so long. It just seems bleh. I don't know. I I was browsing through YouTube the other day, and I came across this guy that he had like 100,000 subscribers, and all he does, he put a dash cam on the front of his car, and he drives through places. I've seen a couple of people like that, and I'm like, "Why are you?" And they're getting a heck of views. I'm like, "Why is this so popular?" Like, I could stick a dash cam on and just go drive somewhere. It's crazy. And there's another dude, like, I think in England or something like that, he has a chest cam, and he just walks the street, doesn't say a word, nothing, just walks the street. He's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. It's freaking weird. Uh, I don't know. So, anyway, good to see y'all. Thanks for coming. Uh, Hope you guys have a good 2024. Maybe we'll see you next time if we do another one. And yeah, that's it. You guys have a good one. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye bye.